Two dads and a Chaz, putting trophies on the wall. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Greenbay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a Chaz, talking Greenbay Packers football. We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Mostly gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air condition, cause it's bound to get hot. Two dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall. Trophies, y'all. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome out to Two Dads and a Chaz. Well, the Packers just slapped the dick clean off the New Orleans Saints. And they're done. They're not a football team anymore. First blowout the entire football year this year. And we got a 34-0 dick slapping to never forget at home at Lambeau. I am your host, Tyson Foshay, joined today by my good friend, my partner in crime, and the only one willing, balls, the cojones, to come on. No script, no filter, no problem. Chazzy, Bubby, baby boy. How you doing tonight, my man? That's the commitment, folks. That's the commitment we're talking
about. Are we live?
We are live.
Oh, man, what a game. Tyson. Just like pistol whipping a blind kid, this game was, man. We had offense, we had defense, we had special teams. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight for 2D and a C unscripted.
Unscripted, unfiltered, unqualified. But we're here. We saw it. That thing was fucking a hell of a game, dude. So real quick, before we even break into it, I want to just start to complain because at this point, I'm like kind of a T-ball dad that's just complaining about perfectionism. I've been saying we need to start fast. We need to control the clock. We need to put up points, a lot of them in the first half. Well, we get that. Here's the problem. This is a night game. You know how hard it is to keep that momentum up as a fan when you're up 21, 24 points at the end of the first half to 0. You're like, this is okay. I know I'm supposed to keep the energy up, but it has been a long day. The logistics alone will drain a man. And then I finally get to Monday night. I remember again, damn it, this is Joe Buck and Aikman. I go through the usual. Yep. I go through my usual thing of being like, oh, crap. Is this on ESPN? Might have to download some stupid app. I hate ESPN so much. And then I realize ESPN and ABC are the same. And I can just watch it on ABC. And then I'm like, oh, it's fine. But then it is Joe Buck and it is Troy.
Yeah, it adds to the stress. It adds to, it's late night. It's just something you don't need to have to deal with.
I don't want a close game against these guys. I really have nothing to complain about. I couldn't ask for anything more than a 34-0 victory at home in the cold against a Southern team that's not very good. This is exactly what you expect.
The backup quarterback for the Saints, they said, was training in a freezer box at their local stadium to prepare himself for the cold, which makes sense if you're going to live in there like Aaron Rodgers, where you're just in darkness for 3 days. But he's in there just running the playbook, going over some stretching. But he gets to walk out of that room again. He gets to get on a plane and come north and stay in a hotel and ride the limousine and eat a nice warm meal. He doesn't live it. He doesn't breathe it. And that's why what happened today. Tyson?
Thank you, Chaz. That part of the story made that one of the dumbest stories I've ever heard in my entire life. Not only was that not going to work, it just shows how stupid this team is, that they're like, this is our edge. You, only quarterback we have. Go sit in that box alone. go sit. Get in the cooler on the bottom of the third floor under the parking ramp. We got an extra freezer down there. You're going to just sit in there and just study your playbook. Don't you think I should be practicing with the guys, coach? It's like, no way. No way. There. You get in there. You get your head in the game. Well, those guys are going to be cold, not you.
Which is interesting because all game, we finally had some really, really, really good pressure. And you've already stated that this was not exactly the top tier team we're probably used to playing against. And their quarterback basically has a broken back, a broken dick, a broken eyeball, a cracked neck, spina bifida, anal bifida. This guy was pretty much dead. So
Derek Carr
the
is not.
defense was able to really keep some pressure on this guy. So obviously whatever he was doing did not work. He had a couple dimes here and there, but for the most part, he was getting pressured all day long.
Yeah, it was not even close. It didn't seem like it was teams that were even in the same category. That being said, you can only play the people in front of you, and Josh Jacobs still had one of his best games, 170 yards, it looks like.
That's what I'm seeing.
That is great. I hope he is not injured, because he definitely walked off the field his last play, looked like holding his hand, holding his arm. I'm sure we'll get an injury report. I'm sure Matt will probably be speaking about that live right about now. Of course, I'm not watching the press conference. I'm doing a live reaction.
Well, speaking of injuries, Tyson, we were without Jair Alexander, which I thought this would have been, the week that we were going to pull him out, but it seems like they might be saving him, for the playoffs or at least the last game of the year. Do you have any thoughts on that?
We tried to put him out for a half a game. We pulled him back, onto the sideline. And since then it's been eerie. I do appreciate the play of our secondary, but this is not exactly a murderer's row of wide receivers that they had a pretty good game against. That being said, we're getting some good playing time, certainly some good experience, and some positive progression out of our secondary without Jair Alexander. At this point, though, I feel like you're kind of rolling the dice if you're going to trot him out there against the Bears and expect him to only go up in his play. Certainly for the contract, you would think he'd be the kind of professional that could walk off the bench without practice, step into a game, and have a major impact. And I've seen him be that guy.
Well, I mean, while we're still talking about it, I mean, efficiency was kind of something both sides of the ball and both teams kind of were having issues with in certain aspects. And by that, I mean third down efficiency, fourth down efficiency for both teams, man. So, I mean, the Saints were 4 for 14 on third down efficiency. We were 8 for 18. That is not great. As far as fourth down, they were 1 for 1 and we were 1 for 3. And I'm seeing a common trend, which I talked about last week, and I'm pretty sure the week before. It seems like when we get into these third and fourth down situations where we're having issues converting the ball to first downs, we're still going a little deep. We're still being a little over presumptuous. We're still not managing the play clock the best way we can. We're still, getting a delay of game calls. And I am really worried about this going into the playoffs.
I think that's a really fair concern, Chaz. That being said, this is not the game you're playing gotta have it football. At this point, we were trying to work on some stuff. A couple of close calls in this game, and I think that changes your game plan when you see Christian Watson potentially go out with an injury and Josh Jacobs potentially go out with an injury. It's hard to say with either one of those guys they are injured and how that's going to affect the team. So at that point, you're just kind of trying to get out of there uninjured while working on some stuff. I was glad to see Malik come in at the end, and boy, he looked fucking sharp again. When Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers certainly have, like, there's always a quarterback voice, which is like a lower growly voice. Jordan Love with the blue 58, blue 58's a hurt.
Like a blue 58, blue 58's a hurt.
Yeah, that was it. That sounded just like him. He was very good.
Well, I've done voiceover work in my time.
Very impressive. The crazy T-ball dad syndrome starting to see come over LaFleur. Rodgers used to have it bad where he'd be beating the doors off of someone, and then a guy would like miss a route or go, and he'd just ruin his whole day. And he's like, I don't care that we're up by this much. It sucks. We shouldn't be making mistakes. Like, you beat him by fucking 34 points. Calm down. So I hope that we can enjoy this game for what it was, which was a proper ass whooping, one that we were due to administer on somebody. The Saints maybe didn't do anything to deserve it, but be in that circumstance. But man, you can't ask for a team to handle a situation much better than that.
I don't want us to ever take our foot off the proverbial gas pedal. I want to see a team that continues to strive forward and continue to succeed. I know our defense was out there a lot more than our offense was because of the amount of play that they were doing with only one turnover, which was on us. And the defense, give them full props. Full props. There were so many almost picks, but an almost pick isn't a pick.
Yeah.
And again, I would rather see complimentary football from quarter 3 and 4 of our game, no matter who we're playing.
Dominant as that score looks, you're right. There was 3-4 picks, turnovers left on the field there that we didn't come down with. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. And really, that team's in disarray. And again, you can't help who you play each week, but it is great to see our team executing on that level. It's great to see our depth, that we are ready to go. I certainly don't feel like at the end of that game that if Jordan did go down, we couldn't keep going. That we would have a hard time handling things from a backup quarterback perspective. That's a really good feeling. I can't say as a Packers fan I've ever gone into this part of the season feeling confident. In fact, I'm usually so obsessed at this time of the year about the quarterback's health that it kind of ruins the position a little bit. Whether it be we don't want Rodgers to play because it's not worth getting him hurt, so we're going to put a backup in, then he comes back cold, or we make him play through some injuries and now he's going into the playoffs hurt. Like, my obsession at this time of the year about the quarterback's health is usually at the top of my mind and my top anxiety. Not even a concern with this team. I feel super solid right now about where our team is at health-wise at the positions that matter the most.
There were some scary moments in this game because you're also expecting to see some more injuries. You're expecting people to start, they've had that cracked rib. Now it's a full broken rib. You've seen somebody that's had a couple of hard hits. You're like, oh, he still gets up. And we saw that today, man. Christian Watson looked like he took a big hit. I thought he might have been out.
Yeah.
We saw Josh Jacob Jacoby Jr. looked like he took a decent shot in his leg and kind of did that wincing. I am just fingers crossed and hoping that we stay healthy before we even hit the playoffs.
But these things are going to happen. You're going to take shots. You can't go into the playoffs cold and scared. You can't. You got to go in fearless and without anxiety, really, playing with house money, as they say. These are the teams that come in, make a bunch of noise, make a big splash. Teams don't start taking them seriously until you're in the conference championship, the position the Packers are kind of dealing with. We also had a coming out party, in my opinion, for Lucas Van Ness today. I saw his weird face for the first time. He got some face time, which is good in some ways, because that means he's doing a good job. He's causing penalties that some of them I like, some of them I don't, but he's getting pressures, finally getting some sacks and making a big impact. Bad news, the camera found his face and him standing around looking like the guy at the party that is in good shape but doesn't get any jokes. And they're all like, you know what I mean? And he's like, what? Huh? I had a joke with him. He doesn't really have a great sense of humor. He can choose a many selection of helmets. He chose one that looks very toenail-like. He just looks like a toe to me in that helmet. I don't know if it's the plastic shield or the little mouth part, or I don't know what it is, but he looks like a weird space bug or something. But welcome to the party. Welcome to the Two Dads and a Chaz spotlight. We see you, Lucas. We see your beautiful face, and now we're going to wildly speculate on what's going on in your mind, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Welcome to the party, man. He's a guy.
This guy's a guy.
But let's get into defensive stats. There's a couple of guys. Gary had a great game. Van Ness had a great game. Zane Anderson is
this
real,
guy,
folks.
He's a real person.
He's a real guy. Zane Anderson, folks. You saw it with your own two eyes. He went out there. He picked the ball. Who knew he was number 39?
I thought a crazy fan jumped onto the field and somehow got an interception, and everybody didn't care because at least the ball was picked.
Looks like he did a really good job coming on the field and had a good game, even though it looked like he got hurt a little bit at the end. That's kind of his thing. He does. Man, for a start, actually making it out there. I didn't realize we were at that position at our free safety that it made sense to start him, but he played pretty darn well.
You got a white guy playing defensive back? Who the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
Looks like a child, like a young child.
Yeah. In pain.
We're going to come back in just a second. We're Two Dads and a Chaz.
Yeah, we're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Tyson, we had all three running backs with a touchdown today.
This is the best running back room I've ever seen the Green Bay Packers have. And as much as we have completely leaned on one player who has set the tone and become, as I said, the heart of our offense in Josh Jacobs, man, when he went out, we have so many guys that are so hungry that because Josh Jacobs has been such a leader and been demanding so many carries, following through on that, there's just starving workout warriors that have been sitting here with like 2 carries a game, just trying to block someone to death just because they got no other opportunity to play football, that are going to get some real playing time.
Packers rushed for 188 yards today. Josh Jacobs posted up 107 yards from the scrimmage. That was 69 rushing, 38 receiving with a touchdown, which was his 14th of the season. Bam, 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 which is a record for most touchdowns by any Green Bay player in his first year with the team. We also got amazing play, pardon me, out of running back Emmanuel Wilson. He had 11 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown. That's 2 running backs. While also Chris Brooks had 6 carries for 23 yards and his first NFL touchdown. It was running back season all day.
When I went to the game a couple of weeks ago, I was the most impressed physically looking at Emmanuel Wilson.
How did you put it before? He looks like circles?
Yeah, he just looks like circles. Like cut. Completely beefed out. And if I'm looking at the, there's a lot of end arounds that were very successful in this game. The wide receivers were used in the running game quite a bit today. But once again, passing that the pass game out nice and thin all across the team, even kind of spread. We got 4 to Reed, 4 to Jacobs, 4 to Kraft, 7 balls going to Wicks today, 7 attempts anyway. But it was a really good even split on the receiving side of things.
The only wide receiving touchdown today, D'Artagnan Wicks. Otherwise, it was a running backs feeding frenzy for them today.
And a couple of those Dontavian Wicks, like, oh, if he just would have by this much, we're talking 14 more points
there.
14 more points.
Yeah, we're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Hey guys, it's just you and me right now. So let's talk for a second about food. Okay. What'd you do? You can tell me, what did you just eat? Because you better take note. Okay. Whatever we did as fans this last game, it worked like a charm. You can't afford to not take note of what just happened. For me, I'm going to share. Okay. We went with the brat patties. We got some interesting brat patties. Actually, we found some at festival. They were pretty good. They called them green and gold. They had cheddar and green pepper in there. Maybe you would hate it, but it was delicious. It was really good. Put a nice sear on them, pulled them right out of the freezer, seared them, got some good color, and then put them in the beer. Now we reduced the beer and the onion, or I even put them in there. So it was a nice gravy by the time it was done. Chazzy rolled in with some very fancy cheese. It was really, really good. He had like a truffle white cheddar that I crumbled up inside there, and that was great. Little ketchup on the bottom. Did a little bottom soak on the jus. Then we went with the onions on the top with the crumbled cheese. Then now here's the real crazy part. He had a spicy capicola that he showed up with. I put that on the flat top just a little bit, just crisp it up like a bacon, but it had nice heat. Oh, so we put that on top of the onions with a little bit of the cheese, and then a little bit of a Dijon mustard on that top bun. Also a little dip in the jus. It was really good, guys. I ate 2 more than I needed to of those sandwiches, and you saw what happened. Listen, he's back, but just write in the comments stream what you did. Please tell me, what did you eat? Tell me what you ate, because it worked. It worked. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, we're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz, everyone. Post this amazing first of the year blowout game against the Saints. We are going to go to one of my favorite segments that we have, an impromptu Caitos Kicker Corner. Wow.
Pew, 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 pew,
Shit,
pew.
one of my favorite people. How are you, my love?
I'm swell. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling very nice. I know we're about to play the Vikings next week, so I want to hear everything you know and want to say about this Vikings kicker.
Well, there's been some new pivots in this Vikings kicker situation. They just cut the last guy a couple of weeks ago, and now we have kicker Will Richard. Will Richard.
Rashad.
Yeah, he's an played and was a very, very successful kicker from Alabama. So yeah, I mean he's a very talented kicker.
Mhm.
So I mean that's neat. So he's new to the team. He's got a really strong Alabama following, but I think what's more interesting, he looks like a really good-looking freshman in high school. Like you're like,
Oh.
"Oh, he almost has a grown-up face, but like not quite." And you're like, "Oh, but his face like never changes." Like this is a current picture of him. This is a current picture. Tell me he doesn't look 14 years old.
Well, I'm going to share one as we speak because I just recently searched this guy. I'm guessing this is Rashad, right? Like this young child that
Yes.
we're talking about, right?
Yes.
I mean, he's definitely, like you said, he is a handsome young freshman in high school. Which I know is weird to say.
Yeah.
But
No, but and his face never changes. Like if you look at any current pictures, he
Mhm.
still looks like this guy. Like his social media is hilarious because he's talking about his wife, but you would think that they're like I don't know, 14 and 15 years old. It's insane. And like why is this the guy you put on the stick? You know what I mean? Like his face. Like look at that. He's like,
apparently you do.
that's my baby. You know what I mean? Like what?
I would have thought that was like a GoFundMe cancer kid kind of foundation, like
Oh, I
help
don't
us
know.
out. No, but apparently it's the kicker.
Or
And he's
it's like,
new, you're telling us.
yeah, or that like that's like you put your brother's face on a stick and be like, yeah,
Oh,
this is my
it's my first game. It's my birthday.
Right. That's not like, yeah, that's my sexy husband. Like, look at that guy. He like just stopped using like acne prone
treatments. Right.
moisturizer.
Exactly.
God. And do you know he probably makes like his signing bonuses to the NFL are like more than my salary as a public school teacher.
Ouch
You know?
town. Population
It's
U,
crazy.
bud.
Right. So he looks like he's 14 and a half. So
Well, do we know anything specific about this guy? Do we have any dirt on this guy?
so he's recently married
Mhm.
to his college sweetheart who followed him from Alabama to his anywhere he's been playing football. And now most recently is in Minnesota. He posts besides his very young looking wife is his partnership with Crocs.
Crocs, the shoe?
Crocs, the shoes. He's got a very strong social media presence with his Croc partnership. So I don't know if he's new at influencing, if that's what he's trying to do, but it's a lot about Crocs. I mean, he's a kicker.
Can I ask? Yeah,
But
right.
isn't
As a kicker, does he kick in the Crocs? And if he does, two-part question, does he
Right.
put them in sport mode?
Right. From what I'm noticing, he wants to be the face of recovery footwear. So he's like, well, after a long day of training, here's me and my Crocs for my recovery.
Not like 12-step program Croc wear.
No.
Got it.
Like his feet need recovery from shoes.
From his little kicky
So-
feet.
So I would say he's a teenager with ouchy feet. So maybe when he's kicking, we talk about maybe his ouchy toes or his ouchy
A
feet.
teenage wunderkind
Yes.
with ouchy feet. Oh, you better
Exactly.
you better make sure those Crocs are in sport mode,
Right.
baby
right.
boy. You better
Right,
come
right.
on, pony boy, don't miss this one. Good luck
Right.
staying golden.
He's a fresh face, young man who has some foot problems.
So we could go as far as to say any sort of insults that would pertain to like a 17-year-old young male.
Right. Like, talking about a first experience with a girl,
Or a boy.
Or a boy. He's married, but still, you don't know.
Hey,
Kickers,
come on.
right?
Come on. Yeah, right.
Right.
Not on this show.
Not on this show. Absolutely not. Anything is possible. He's young.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He should probably stay away from McManus, or should
Mhm.
he?
Right. Like how much lunch money are we going to beat this? Are we going to roll this kid for today?
God. I wonder if that happens like every practice. Like there's just got to be like every other player on the Vikings has to look at this guy walking into the locker room and like, how old is this kid? It's insane.
There's a lineman out there. It's like, I'm going to steal that motherfucker's lunch money today.
Right. He definitely gets heavily pranked.
Yeah. Oh, he's getting swirlies.
Heavily pranked. Oh, he's
Absolutely.
buying all the pizzas, all the pizzas.
Especially if his mom is the one that's showing up like, I brought snacks for everyone. Or his new, prepubescent wife is like, hey, I brought, fudge rolls for the team. It's like, oh, God, babe, don't stop doing this.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep. That the fresh-faced, pimply freshman and his child bride. I think that this is great. Okay, well,
and his child bride.
I think that that's enough for your listeners to really use their it's the holidays. They might be inspired by time with family, fresh start, new year. How would you insult a teenager?
I like it. So we've got Crocs to work with. We've got a prepubescent kicker.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can all think back to when we were kids, whatever age range you might be, really throw out whatever you've got when you see this guy lining up on the ball.
Right.
Well, Cato, it's always a pleasure to have you here. I love you to the moon and back. And I cannot wait to have you back again. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Caitlyn Foshay here on Caitos Kicker Corner.
Yeah, we're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz. Another big shout out to Caitlyn Foshay for Caitos Kicker Corner. We're going to keep this rolling tonight. Tyson, take us into the next segment.
Really, Chaz's family is the way I look at it. With me and the holidays is about family time, and I just want to take a quick second to talk about that. Because this is Two Dads and a Chaz, and as the dad for this portion of the show that's available, I just want to say it's important to spend time with your loved ones. And if you chose to have children, in my case, man, you better love them kids, because that's what it's all about. So I'm just really happy to spend some time at home with my boys and Caitlyn and the dogs and Chazzy. It's been a really special year. Sammy and I got a chance to mess around. He's got a little bit of the video bug himself, so we created some content ourselves, some of which we might be teasing throughout the show here. It's some fun content. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. We don't take too much of it too seriously, but we do have a lot of fun, and I hope you guys approach life the same way and can enjoy something you love as much as football with a light heart.
I spend at least 5 to 7 days every year up on a boys trip up in the UP. A whole lot of nothing but just hanging out, good vibes. I have a cheers that I've used for years, and it's to the family you're born with and the family that you make along the way. Because in any situation that could be possible, in whether you're hanging out with a random stranger at a Dallas airport while you're stuck there and there's just football on and you can just have a moment with somebody and a real genuine connection, or somebody you meet in line, on Black Friday. This time of year is about not only family, because a lot of us don't always have the best families or the families we want to hang out with. So the families that you make along the way sometimes are just as important. And I really want to shout out those people as well.
Hell yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think you do what you need to do to feel warm and loved and respect at this time of the year. And I feel like you choose the community you need and that works for you at different times in your life. So yeah, I'm with you, Chaz. I'm excited to be working on this pod and have this side project in addition to everything else that we do in our crazy lives, and to have something as beautiful as the Green Bay Packers be the best damn book club I've ever been a part of to break down on a weekly basis, and to have you fools come and listen to it every week. Doesn't make sense, but you keep showing up and I love you for it. Stay tuned. We are going to have, like I said, potentially some more videos coming up here after the break. We're going to do a little segment we call coming up, savoring the flavor of a win. We don't do this enough as Packers fans. We nitpick, like I said, overbearing T-ball dad looking for that perfection. Like, let's just enjoy this dominant win from our absolute prodigy child. Like, he did everything you could ask. Great job, champ. Let's go get some ice cream. We're going to come back. We're going to eat some ice cream and relive that game.
Yeah. We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Yeah, man. Jammer. What's going on with you? These kids,
They know me.
The kids, it's hard to get anything done.
They know me. I'm gonna give them a shout out. By the way, they have some questions for you, Elmo.
Okay, well, let me finish the last question. It's a real quick one. It's a multiple choice. You ready? Last question. This one comes in from, let me scroll up here. Hang on. This one is Bob Alzencork, 51. Bob Alzencork, 51 says, "Hey, Godzilla, what is a better movie? Rocky 3 or Rocky 4, and why?" Jeff, what do you think?
Rocky 4 was a little good for me because he took that other guy from Russia pretty down goodly, and I liked how the fight was way faster. I mean slower. It was way better, longer, and a better fight. I loved that. Was the greatest fight I've ever seen in the Rocky series. So yeah, Rocky 4 definitely. And Rocky was a macho man.
Rocky 4 over Rocky 3. You're saying?
Yep. Wait, 1 minute.
See, I think Clubber Lang was pretty good. In terms of bad guys and fight scenes, I agree with you. It's 4. But 4 had some funny stuff. The robot, and I just don't understand what's going on with the arc of Paulie in this series. I don't know why he's there. I don't know what he does for anybody, to tell you the truth.
We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. Sorry we were getting sappy there, but it's just because it's the time of year when you got to appreciate those that you love. But we're going to keep moving on into the savory section of the evening. Tyson?
Oh, I'm going to savor the flavor, baby. It's a little thing we call savor the flavor victory. It's something we don't do enough as Packers fans. So let's get in it. Let's dive into this molten chocolate deliciousness that was the Green Bay Packers shutout, the first of the entire year in the NFL. Man, trailblazing, and I just want to watch some plays, Chazzy. Let's get right into the second half. What do you got for me?
Well, let's start with the first drive that we had of the second half here. Let's have a little look-ski, huh?
Oh, I just love Dontavion running on the opposite side. Yeah, and Brooks, man, Chris Brooks, bringing the freaking noise. He is just he reminds me of a mix between Amon Green and Ryan Grant. Like, he runs the route, but slow, and it's the right way, and it's powerful, but it's kind of slow. You know, I like him.
He's still got he doesn't fight as hard as Jacoby does for those extra 2 to 3 yards. You know what I mean? But he also he's got some explosiveness.
He can't teleport like Josh Jacobs can. Josh Jacobs is the nightcrawler out there. This guy is bouncing from place to place. You can't tackle what you can't see. You know, that's yeah. So I love his use of sorcery and magic.
Like trying to nail Jello to a wall, baby. Like a fart, like a fart in the wind, you know?
I love that. He is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. It's possible. It's
Oh,
just
by
not
the
easy.
way, what did you think of this weird shit? Look at this jump pass.
Yeah,
What?
that was awesome though. Come on. That's
Who
just like
does that anymore?
Doug Flutie and nobody. Like nobody does the jump pass.
Maybe Brett Favre. Maybe Brett Favre.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, but
is?
then it followed it up with that. He had one good moment, and then here comes Zane Anderson. Man,
Yeah, first game, first pick. Look at that.
Zany,
Boom.
crazy Zane Anderson. I can't believe he's wacky and zany, and he is
Zane the Train. He's gonna be
Zane
this up.
the wacky Zane train. Choo choo! It's coming to station. Yeah.
I mean, God, look at the speed, though.
I mean, he's Emmanuel Wilson. Like I said earlier, this guy's cut. He is absolutely bulked out, and he's got explosiveness. He seems like he's in control. He just seems like a really smart investment of a backup running back that could be a 3-game stretch major contributor. We still haven't even seen Marshawn Lloyd, guys. No one knows what Marshawn Lloyd is except for the best looking running back on the team in the camp. Like, hands down, difference looker.
And what's the story there with him?
Well, he's had a lot of unfortunate injuries, and at this point, I think we're just stashing him. But
so we're just saving him like a peanut in our pocket.
Oh yeah, you don't want anyone knowing about that peanut. Once they get a taste, Chaz, they're gonna want.
More peanuts from your pocket.
They're gonna want more peanuts. You know, they're gonna.
And then you gotta give them the old. I got something in my front pocket for you. Why don't you reach inside and see what it is?
That's what happens, and they go fishing around, and before you know it, you got a whole, the whole running back room is in disarray. Right now, everyone's buddies. You know, we're balancing this out. You know, we have these super talented guys that we know we got to develop, but we're not quite ready. It's like,
and we also don't have any prima donnas on this team anymore. We got rid of the number one prima donna that we had on this team, which was, what we called a leader and was a serious leader for a number of years. But that kind of attitude takes down the team. When you have a team based, look at the Lions right now. When you have a mentality and an idea and a go for broke scenario, I want to work that much harder for the guy that is next to you that you're in the trenches with, as opposed to, man, that guy really sucked. That guy missed. It wasn't me. That guy missed the catch. That guy missed the run. That guy dropped the ball. You want to play next to people that you're going to be inspired by and that you help inspire.
Yeah, you also can play beyond your abilities if the guy next to you is playing beyond his abilities. You can be superpowered and superhuman in this game. It is contagious, and so is being a human that's flawed. So nobody's perfect in this game. That's what I've learned. The humbleness that Jordan Love exudes, I love it more and more every day. I keep finding more clips of how he lives his life. He just feels authentic to me. It feels like he doesn't have to waste a lot of time trying to look like he's not trying to look like he's trying, like he just try. He's just he's just him, man. And that's good enough for everybody. Nobody's asking him to be anything more than that. Nobody's asking him to be anything less than that. I love it. I love that we have this guy. And I know he's not perfect, guys. He had some accuracy issues in this game. I'm not going to sit here. Yeah, in
low balls, block balls,
it happens.
Over the middle, tappers.
Absolutely. There's going to be stretches of that, but you could say the same thing about Jared Allen and how he plays the quarterback position. He has moments and stretches where his accuracy is maybe not perfect, and then other moments where he's just unbelievable and lights out. Not that their game is completely comparable, but
they both are young gunslingers, and maybe I might not be at that exact moniker yet, but you can see they are both gunslingers.
Oh, for sure. And they're trying to be the best quarterback they can on the field that day. That's all they need to be. They just need to be the best quarterback.
Pretty damn good quarterbacks off the field too. There's a genuine self. There's a genuine personality in self to both Jared Allen and Jordan Love. That is, it doesn't seem douchey, it doesn't seem fake, it doesn't seem put on. Like I've got a fake microphone that actually isn't a microphone. Like this is nothing.
No,
But you know what I mean? Like
you're kidding me. This whole time.
Yeah, I know. I had them all fooled.
Oh, now I don't know what to think.
But seriously, like,
Yeah.
I would rather. I am inspired by inspiring things. What I mean by that is I could sit down and have a conversation with somebody, and if they're passionate about talking about mathematics, and they come across as passionate, I get passionate about it. If I sit down with somebody, yeah, and they talk about football,
yeah,
and they're passionate about it, I get passionate about it. If they talk about food, if they talk about leatherwork, if they talk about, it doesn't matter. And if authentically passionate is I think one of the best ways to describe both of those franchises, both the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers.
There's been a lot of talk about Buffalo Bills and Green Bay Packers.
Real quick, I don't mean to cut you off, but you got to see this kick. This was his season long. You can't spell McManus without anus. Watch
and
this
guy is kicking it in the anus. Look at this dude.
Oh, dude
17.
It'll pucker your
taking it
right
back.
Up. 55 yards, bud. There.
Nice.
Hello.
So I've come to a conclusion, guys, that the football gods, when it is not the right time, will punish you for not properly honoring a player that changed the dynamic of your team. And they do this through numbers. All right. Donald Driver was not properly honored. He was discarded like he didn't matter when number 80 was our team for a very long time. After that, it was a cursed number. Anyone who wore number 80 did not do well until our current member of the team that is wearing number 80, Bo Melton. That's right, at number 80 right now. And I'd say the same is true for number 17, which was held by a multiple, like a bad quarterback that got cut, a couple of kickers that got cut. And other than that, it was, Devontae Adams. So like, I think when you choose these numbers at a point here, you have to sacrifice enough players to be in the right position. And I'm just glad that McManus has found his way and has taken back the number 17 and made it a stable number again. And not a number that's cursed because.
And, to pile onto that too, Tyson, you have been both extremely right and extremely just out of kilter with this, as far as I've noticed over the last, 15 years that I've known you, with this whole jersey thing and picking. But I got to say, look at the number 87 for the Packers. Look at the famous 87s that have played for the Packers. It's a dime, a dime, a dime, a dime, a dime, a dime, a dime. Like, certain numbers have power. And I get that you also believe that certain numbers should be specific positions. And I know that that's gotten weird over the last couple of years. But I got to give you this one, buddy, and a hat off to you, because I think you're right. There are certain numbers. Like, when was the last time you saw a number 4 play for this team? Well, that jersey's retired and that number's retired. But you get what I'm saying.
But that's my point. Yes. What was I talking about?
I was said that number 4.
Yeah. There was a time,
4, even though it's retired.
Yep. There was a time when 4 was an opponent, and we had to go up against this guy, and we knew that we could have played a 4 at kicker. We wouldn't do that. We respected that situation, and we knew that was a retired number. My point is 80 should be a retired number. The fact that it's not puts it in this weird area of influx, which is that you are a skill position player that we will put on a banner that we will talk about like you're a player that's going to last forever, but you're replaceable. And like, I don't feel like that's fair to some of these players that are beyond that. I feel like there should be a holding pattern on those numbers. There should be like a 3 to 5 year window when a guy was great. I'm saying was great.
If I was Mayhew, I would jump in and say, numbers are the numbers, okay? Because the numbers show what the numbers show. If this guy was good enough, I got to tell you right now, this guy would already have the stats and the Super Bowls and the rings to have his number retired. So just to be devil's advocate for a second, I understand that there's magic and there's a want for somebody to carry on the number of the previous guy that played the position, let's even say, or not, just carry the number. But you can't just go giving away. We're gonna run out of numbers if we just went by our favorite
No.
players that wore those
My
jerseys.
point is this: at this point, all numbers are whatever. People wear whatever. People are like, I want to be the first number 0 to be a Hall of Fame player. This is goals that people have because there are number 0s on the team. So clearly, there's enough numbers. My point is this: if there's a player that plays a position, Brian Urlacher, okay, he got to a Super Bowl, didn't win a Super Bowl. But you can't tell me that player wasn't the identity of that team for a very long time. Don't you think that there should be like a 54, like
Warren Sapp?
Yeah, who wants to fucking follow that up? Who wants that pressure to be the next 54? You got to earn the right to be the next 54. And that should mean something because it meant something to be number 54. Just like it means something to be number 80. And now there's a guy who gets it. There's a lot of guys that didn't get it. Jimmy Graham didn't fucking get it. Didn't get it.
Well, Tyson, this is my name. They kind of do that in the NFL right now. It's called wearing a captain's C.
It's a good
You
meme.
gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. All right, just saying.
Yeah, you do. I just think that there's a lot of hypocrisy and glory and connection and appreciation in this game. And I think that a number means a lot sometimes. And I'm not saying it's a forever thing, but it should mean something when you get that number. If you earned an 80, you earned an 80.
Do you really think that the young bucks that come in that have like fresh up like noobs, like rookie year season, they don't know the guys' numbers. They're not going to take the time to look into who wore that jersey on a franchise like ours. And I mean, like, this is a real question because I mean, I work in a completely different medium professionally than anybody that plays a professional sport. It's close, but no. And I got to tell you, every role that I have to look into, I look back, I go back, I look at everybody that's ever done it. I find every video I can. I can't even imagine wearing number 87 professionally, which, as we all know, Robert Brooks, greatest fucking wide receiver of all time. I would look into the history of that number and everybody that wore it before me because of the weight that you're carrying and the legacy that you're carrying as well.
I think that's fair. I feel like there's an imaginary rule right now where guys are trying to get the closest to 0. And there's like, I want to be number 1. I want to be number 0. I want to be there's a lot of a closer to the bottom number. I love why Josh Jacobs is number 8. I love it now. Remind himself where he is and where he came from. Also, he kind of looks awesome as a number 8 now. I kind of dig it. He looks kind of
He's got thicker. The infinity, baby.
Well, he looks thicker with just one number, instead of the 2. It makes him look like he's I don't know. I didn't like it at first. I'm into it now. There should be some legacy numbers. 92. We don't have a 92 on the Packers since Reggie White.
Oh, hell no.
No, we retired that number. Okay. There are certain players, right, that earn that. But there should be more than just like a Super Bowl or you died or both. Like it should be, there should be an in between. It should be an honor. You need to be a certain draft status. You need to be a third picker, a third round or under to earn a number that has any real historic validity because there's that pressure's on you already. You got to deal with that.
Let's reach out. Let's reach out right now. I mean, you know how many of the faculty members, including the coach and everybody that listens from the Packers that listen to our podcast, guys from Tyson, from Two Dads and a Chaz. When it comes to rookie players coming in that are going to pick numbers, let's do a little history. Have them learn the legacy. Have a little history lesson. Give in the offseason. Make them do the work. Put in the time. Learn where you came from. Learn where this franchise comes from. Because it also, and this is one of the things I hate about the NBA, is the me, and the every play is about me, and the celebration is about me. The Packers do a really good job of celebrating together. Once you learn the history, it takes you out of yourself. It makes you part of a team. It makes you part of a franchise, part of a lineage.
Yeah. And it means a lot to be in that lineage, to be in that fraternity. And these names, they'll come and go, but there's always going to be these numbers. I just feel like they mean a lot more than just, dehumanizing. I feel like it encapsulates a human and makes them last forever. That's the way I look at it. But that's just me rolling deep.
Coming from the same guy that just wants people to be numbers, specific numbers.
Yes.
They're all numbers to me.
You
They're
go
all
where you belong. We're gonna take a short break and we'll get back and close this baby out. Thanks so much for coming out to this special holiday edition of Two Dads and a Chaz.
We talking Green Bay Packers football.
You believe how much cigarettes are these days?
Yeah, no one uses them anymore like they used to.
Yeah. Everything's changing these days, I gotta tell you. You notice also a lot more self-checkouts. What happened to cashiers?
Exactly.
We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz,
special holiday edition
with that amazing blowout against the New Orleans Saints. More of a favorite memory. Tyson, I want to hear about your 2 favorite touchdown moments that you have memory-wise of the Green Bay Packers.
2 favorite touchdown moments. The first one, and you said touchdown moments, and that's perfect because the first one I don't think officially counted, but it should have. Yeah. Where Mark Tauscher caught a touchdown and went in for a Lambeau leap and barely made like one leg up on the wall. It was the saddest Lambeau leap I'd ever seen. It was beautiful because it's Mark Tauscher, and like they got someone else on like an illegal shift on the play, and like we were so busy having this amazing celebration that Lambeau didn't notice that it didn't count. But it was a special moment, and for me that was one of my favorite touchdowns. And I'd say the second one, this one did count, and this was the Favre dead dad night where he threw a corner floater over the shoulder to Wesley Walls, the tight end that we had gotten that was a free agent, and it was like the prettiest ball I'd ever seen him throw. It just absolutely dropped right in. It was like a sky ball. I mean, that you don't see Brett Favre's balls
flowing.
And his balls are always flat and like just flying in. And it was just like this beautiful Chad Pennington floater that just landed right in that.
One of these?
Yeah. Reminiscent of, what Eli Manning got into the Hall of Fame doing, throwing a Plexico burst, just this floater to the corner. And it was a special night. I think that was his prettiest ball of the night.
As far as my 2 favorites, one of which was the game that I was at, which I'll always remember. It was one of the coldest games at Lambeau I'd ever been to. It was -8 degrees. It was going into, and I've talked about it on this podcast, going into overtime against, I think it was the Seahawks, and the former quarterback won the coin toss and said, "We are going to receive and we're going to score." And Al Harris, I think, was one of the first 2 plays of the series, intercepts it and runs it for like a 55-yard fucking pick 6. And I've never felt more joy. Yep. What?
Yeah, no, I'd say his hand was up.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he did. He was doing
the
finger
and he
up.
just he ran with the finger up. I've never felt more joy and energy in a stadium outside of the Super Bowl in my life. Next level. And the other is actually kind of a silly one. And the funny thing is I don't even remember who we were playing against, but I love watching offense or defensive linemen get touchdowns. And in this case, it was BJ Raji. I'm talking babyface BJ Raji. Gets a random little tipper, runs in for only like 11 yards, and does his little whatever this dance was.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I
Hula
love
baby.
Hula
it was
baby
awesome.
Face Raji. I love watching linemen get an opportunity.
Of that same era, I just got to throw a big guy moment. Johnny Jolly stealing the sack or
Oh,
stealing the snap, reaching under and steal. I don't even understand how that's possible and not encroachment, but somehow between them snapping the ball and the quarterback getting the ball, he like jerked in there and grabbed that ball. It doesn't even make any sense at all, but it worked. And they said that I've never seen it before. I've never seen it since.
it would
I
be
would love to-
ejectable in today's
I'd
game.
love to see it again. I'll be honest, but I don't know what happened, but he did a great job. Also, just a quick shout out, forgotten big men. Grady Jackson. I was thinking about Grady Jackson, Big Gravy Jackson. We got him
I
up.
remember Gravy Jackson.
We got him out of the New Orleans Saints. This is back in 2004. 2004, maybe 2003, 2004, in that era, 2005 pack. Because it was the year that Antonio Freeman came back after he was on the Eagles.
Okay.
And he came back, and it was like the year of destiny. And that was a special year. That year felt very magic. The snow was coming early that year too.
What did Gravy do? Did he have just an amazing
He
touchdown?
was just a big fat dude with gold teeth that was like way overweight, and we didn't usually go for that kind of player. And
Like
he was just
Gilbert Brown.
Yeah, he was just dirty and played hard as hell and had a lot of strength and got push and was good for like 5 or 6 games. That's about all we got out of him. But I just remember loving Grady Jackson, calling him Gravy Jackson. And that was, I don't know, just big guy memories. Johnny Jolly and Grady Jackson. Oh, those were good. Those were good years. That was a good year.
This is why we do shows like this, where it's just it's a little less scripted. And by that I mean not scripted at all. And when the ether hits you, you got to roll with it, baby. You got to roll with it. You're a yes and kind of guy, and I appreciate you.
Oh man, big guy appreciation is something that I can get into too.
God.
Big guy appreciation. I can really sink my teeth into that. You know what I mean? and I just thinking about like. There's just been some random ones. There's been like Cole. That was another big defensive tackle we had for a while. Dreadlocks. He was like a block. He was like 5'11" and 350 pounds. Like he was just like a cube of a man. There's just been some good ones, guys. And I feel like around the holidays, it's important to remember your big guys that are probably huffing air and dealing with sleep apnea as we speak.
Again, Reggie White, may he rest.
Man, thank you. Thank you guys so much. You big fellas get up there every day.
And those are some of our favorite touchdowns and big boy players. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
Well, Jeff, you take care of yourself. Don't lose too much money on the ponies, if you know what I mean, And let's do this again soon, okay? You stay out of trouble. Enjoy your ocean. And thank you for coming on, Godzilla. Jeff, everybody, thank you so much for having him on. Hey, Jeff, anything you want to say to the people before you go?
I just have to say one thing. It's I hope you have a good day.
Yeah. We talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome back to Two Dads and Chaz. We're going to hit some predictions here. And we are going up against the Vikings next. After a kick-ass blowout. Easy to get in here with a big head, but I want to be realistic. Chaz, you can go first. What's your prediction?
As far as the score goes, I think it's going to be a lot closer than I would like it to be. But I think I'm just going to start and say this will be a Packers win. I think it's going to be a 21-17 win for the Packers. As far as offensive player of the game, it's going to come down to one guy, and that's Jordan Love. If Jordan Love can keep his head on his shoulders and can watch out in your pocket, I think that we are going to be fucking fantastic. But I would love to see more Dubes. That's right, Mr. Dubes. Romeo Dubes. Defensive player, I would love to see Jair Alexander be my number one and maybe watch him play, but that probably won't happen. So I'm going to probably just have to give it to my defensive backs to continue what they're doing and close the gaps with some picks, with some hands and no penalties. I'm going to go Edgerrin Cooper, man. This guy looks hot. He looked fantastic today. If he's on fire, I want to see it continue.
I love it. I want to feel the heat of that hot hand myself. I want him to just slap the shit out of anybody that comes near him. I saw some hits that were just merciless, fucking just eye socket crushing blows that I'm like, I like to see a guy on our team. Doesn't even look back to see if that guy's hurt. Just stands up and is like, done.
Or okay.
Terminator. Next body. Moving on. You know, I love it. So prediction. You want to know?
I want to
Look,
know.
man, we don't need to win this fucking game. Let me just tell you, there are no games left. We have to win. That being said, not competing is the best way to lose. Like you can't go into the playoffs having just had a week or 2 or 3 of saving yourself. I don't believe. So I think that we're going to go in here just like we did this week and give them our best ball. I think we're going to try to clean up some stuff that we did that was sloppy in this game, even though we won. Jordan had some balls that were left on. There were just some mistakes, not a lot of them, but a couple of them. You get those corrected and you bring that to the Vikings. I'm sorry. I think we're going to beat this team, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think we're going to beat.
Hold my breath on that one.
38-24. The Packers are going to beat the Vikings. If this team can get beat early, get beat often, they can't come back. And we're going to see what happens when Sam Darnold has to go backwards.
That's a high scoring game. And given what we saw today and over the last 2 weeks, do you think is it going to be more of a running touchdown scheme or a pass touchdown scheme for this next game?
I think it's going to be a combination of fast scoring and ball control. So it's going to be both, Chaz. We're going to be running the ball early to hold on to the ball and maintain momentum. And then we're going to be scoring quickly throughout the game. So I expect to see us hold on to the ball for a 7-minute drive for one portion and then go score in 3 minutes on the next one and then score in like 40 seconds on the next one. Our goal is to control the clock and control momentum. That is something that the Vikings have had the fortune of being in the driver's seat of. We can control that just by us playing a clean game of football. We are a better team.
Do you think the majority of those are going to be rushing touchdowns or receiver touchdowns?
I think that we're going to have a mix of receiver touchdowns, maybe 2 rushing touchdowns and a pick 6. That's what I'm calling. I think it's going to be I think this is going to be the complimentary football win, full team win that's going to put us on the map and make everybody realize, we're playing with house money all over again, folks. You're in a world of shit. We're like last year, but better. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to find last year's Packers team. We left them in the dust. We're going to be the best version. And I think part of that has to do with our secret weapons coming back. On offense, special player of the game is going to be the return of the Luke Musgrave, coming back, getting a couple of blocks, barely playing at all, doing the dirty work in this last game. I think he's earned his stripes. I think LaFleur is going to let him loose, and we're going to see the weapon that we drafted him to be in the second round. I think he's going to end up having a pretty big game in this one. I think the 2 tight end set's going to eat him up. I expect both of our tight ends to end up with over 50 yards apiece, and one of them might even break 100, and that would be really something great for every team to be worried about. A new wrinkles. If you can have a clean game, a dominant win, and show some new wrinkles with the same pieces you had since camp, that's the best case scenario right now.
Once we get Musgrave and Tucker Kraft on the same field together, it's the plays that you're not going to hear about from these guys. I'm talking blocking from these guys that is going to completely change this football team too on offense.
Absolutely. And the edge that Tucker Kraft is willing to play with, there's no downside to having him on the field at any given moment. You have to respect every part of his game. On defense, I want to see more Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt has come on to be a leader of this team. At this point, I think he is the most dangerous player in the middle of the field that isn't the guy you just, Cooper, who you just suggested. I think Devontae Wyatt is a difference maker. He can knock your best player out. He can hit your running back in a way that makes him have to take a break. I saw some interesting play today where Carl Brooks ran sideways at the line, knocked 2 of the blockers out of the play, and Devontae Wyatt was fast enough that all he needed was one step, beat the tackle, and just destroyed that no-name quarterback. I mean, it was merciless. We have some merciless players on this team, and he is one of them. An element that we're going to need in the playoffs. A team that doesn't hit someone and get up looking for trouble. A team that hits someone like they know that's their job and they walk away like they own the joint, like they work here. They walk right through the line. That's what I want to see. More Ray Lewis. That's what I need to see out of this defense. And I'm starting to really get excited because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it from lots of players now.
We're happy to be here and do these pop-up episodes for all of you. We've already said we want to wish you happy holidays. We've kind of expressed, at least on our behalf, what it means to be a Packer fan, what it means to be a dad, what it means to be a Chaz, what it means to be a fan, and why we watch this game. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank everybody for their support, liking, sharing. Tyson, final thoughts? Anything left in your glass?
Final extra points that I have to offer are really just a promotional one. I'm going to throw some stuff up here, guys. This is the first time that I've been off of work for an extended period of time here with a little winter break. I'm taking the whole week off, which has been great. It's given me some time to catch up on other things, but the pod being one of them. So we're going to try a new thing this week. We're going to get out a couple different videos. You're finishing up this video now. We want to thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you want for Christmas. Let us know what your prediction is on the game. And then we're going to shoot another one of these babies with Vikings insider Andy Reich here. I'm going to get together with my good friend Aaron Mayhew, and we're going to crank out another one of these. He's coming back, baby. Holiday brings everybody together. So, and then also my boy Sammy and I, we made a little extra video. So we're going to get some stuff worked in and out, extra content. So please enjoy over the holidays while you're spending time with your families and or avoiding them. Feel free to check out Two Dads and a Chaz. Like, subscribe, share, and become part of the community, guys. This is fun, and we'd love to have you on and be part of this whole thing. Go Absolutely. Pack, go. I'm feeling it more than ever, but maybe we can reclaim the North. Chaz, let's break it down.
Just want to say thanks to my number one dad of Two Dads and a Chaz, Tyson Foshay. Without this guy, we would not have gotten this together. And we're just going to do our classic hashtag in a 3, 2, 1. Reclaim
the North.
The North. We'll see you next time.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Statements that we'll likely regret. Most gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air condition, cause it's bound to get hot. Two Dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two Dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall. Trophies, y'all. Two Dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we're talking Green Bay Packers football.